Hey everybody, Jennifer Louden at jenniferlouden.com. I want to talk about nurturing creative beginnings of creative projects, whatever they are that matter to you, because they're very tender, kind of dangerous times. And one of the things that I see happen is that people start a project and at first they're very excited and like da, 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 and then they start to be obsessed with taking this course over here or getting a certificate over here, or they get this book in their mind that they just have to go buy from Amazon right now. Or even more common, they start to think about all the other projects that they would rather be doing that are much better than the project that they're doing. Or they get really perfectionistic and they keep reworking the beginning of whatever it is and trying to get it just right before they move forward. Any of these things sound familiar? I know they do to me. I've done them all. So here's what you can do instead. At some point, when an idea, when a project, when a business becomes a little more real, you need to say, I am committed to you. Maybe not forever. Doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition, doesn't mean it's not going to fall apart. But there's a point when you hold it lightly but firmly and you say, I'm here, I love you, I'm here, I'm in. And I'm going to ignore everything else for right now. Now, of course, immediately those ideas are going to get louder, and those book titles that you just have to go read and all the research that you have to do and the piles of books that are next to my bed, next to my office, my computer right now, get really loud. Stop when they come to you, even if you're in the middle of working, and write them down on a piece of paper or in a special notebook. Don't make a big deal about it. Keep it close by. Just jot them down. Say, I hear you. Then come back to the container that you've created. You are using conditions of enoughness, right? There's a link to the idea of that below. It's very important to create a container that's dedicated and clear and delineated to the time and energy that you'll be putting into this project, and then to stick to it. The other ideas are going to come, you push them out of the container. I think that beginnings are not a time to get outside input. They're not a time to be researching how to do what you're doing. They're a time to dig in and trust yourself. It's great to have support. I have wonderful support from friends, but it's about accountability and pep talks and helping me hone in and listen to myself, never telling me what to do. I think that seeking outside advice is a real temptation at this very delicate time when you need to be listening to yourself. You can get advice on how to and shorten the curve later. My personal opinion. The other thing I want to say is we tend to be really hard on ourselves and say we're dilettantes and we can't stick with anything and we're such scatterbrains when these ideas come. What if they come because you've opened the creative channel, right? It's like, oh yes, I've started being creative. And like, it's indiscriminate. It's kind of like, whoa, okay, well, all this stuff starts coming in. That's a good sign. That it's your job to say, like Saraswati, the goddess who rides a swan, and the swan's beak is the discernment. It gets rid of the stuff that doesn't fit right now. You put it over here and you keep going. The other thing that is scary and why these other ideas or beginnings or projects suddenly seem so sexy and the thing that you're working on seems so dowdy and boring is because it's vulnerable to commit. It's scary. It's not going to work out exactly the way you want. It might not work out at all. I'm working on a book right now. I don't know if it's going to be a book. This is the conversation all the time. That's normal. Acknowledge it, ignore it, keep going. Love the one you're with. Hold it tenderly but firmly. Use delineated periods of time that you've clearly committed to work on it. Write down the other ideas and honor the fact that you're in creative chaos and flow. I'll be doing the same thing, okay? All right, love.